The Crusaders and the Gators are back. Which team will move on in our tournament? Find out next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. Brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're welcoming back two great teams. Let me introduce them to you now. Archbishop Riordan Crusaders are here. And so are the Sacred Heart Gators. One of these teams will become team number 10 in our tournament. Let's find out which it is as we begin with our first three-for-all round. I will ask you a toss-up question. If you get it right, your team will earn 5 points. Give me a second correct answer, you'll earn 10 points. If you give me all three correct answers, you'll earn 25 points. Good luck, gentlemen. Here's the first toss-up. This is my least favorite question in the history of Quiz Kids. What Canadian won a 2011 Lifetime Achievement Emmy in large part for his over 25 years of work on Jeopardy? Sloan.
Alex Trebek.
Yes. Which improv actor from Whose Line Is It Anyway and former daytime talk show host is hosting the current revival of Let's Make a Deal?
Drew Carey.
No, it's Wayne Brady. Good, we can put that question away. The subject of James Gleick's biography, Genius, was a Caltech professor known for his lectures on physics. Name that man who at the end of his life served on the committee investigating the 1986 Challenger disaster. It's Richard Feynman. This country's socialist president, Salvador Allende, died during a 1973 coup encouraged by the CIA. Name the South American country that is less than 220 miles wide, but has a 2,700-mile Pacific coastline. Kevin.
Chile.
Right. This general overthrew Allende and remained in power until 1990.
Pass.
It's Pinochet. It is divided into 3 parts, each of which is a juice. The juice are further subdivided into a total of 114 chapters. This describes what religious text that Muslims... Yes, David?
The Quran.
Right. What are the 114 chapters of the Quran, such as divorce, the elephant, and the honeybees, called?
The Law.
No, surahs. Name these polygons. Heron's formula, also called Hero's formula, can be used to calculate the area of one of these polygons given the length of all of its sides. Trevor.
A square.
No, you can steal.
Trapezoid?
No, it's a triangle. Imagine thinking of yourself as a loyal subject of George III one day and waking up in a country governed by George Washington the next. This occurs to what title character of a Washington Irving short story who falls asleep in the Catskills for 20 years? David.
Rip Van Winkle.
Right. Irving wrote about Brom Bones and the haunting of Ichabod Crane by a headless horseman in what tale?
Legend of Sleepy Hollow, right? Yeah. Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Right. Irving wrote A History of New York from the beginning of the world to the end of the Dutch dynasty through the eyes of what fictional Dutchman whose name can be used as slang for residents of New York?
Yankee.
That was Diedrich Knickerbocker. Excuse me. Along with Elizabeth Cady Stanton, what suffragette founded the periodical The Revolution in 1868? She was arrested in New York for trying to vote and later appeared on the dollar coin. Sloan.
Susan B. Anthony.
Right. What feminist published What Every Girl Should Know and founded the American Birth Control League in 1921?
Stanton.
Margaret Sanger. Zeus had many mortal sons, myself included, but very few mortal daughters, of whom only one was famous. Who?
Helen of Troy.
That is right. This son of Zeus and Danae was locked in a wooden chest with his mother and set adrift at sea. He later killed a sea monster and saved Andromeda. What was his name?
Perseus.
Right, because you saw Clash of the Titans. This son of Zeus and Alcmena became the foster son of Amphitryon. His accomplishments include sacking Troy before the Trojan War, as well as joining the Argonauts, and he was?
Hercules.
Correct for 25 points. And I get 5 of those points for mispronouncing the names. All right, he designed the tomb of his patron, Pope Julius II, and sculpted the slayer of Goliath. Name this artist. Yes, Sloan.
Michelangelo?
Right. This Michelangelo sculpture features Mary cradling Jesus after his crucifixion.
I don't know.
The Pietà. It lies in the Indian Ocean off of Africa's east coast. What is the fourth? Yes, Kevin.
Madagascar.
Correct. The country of Tanzania was formed via the union of the mainland country of Tanganyika and this archipelago, whose islands include Unguja and Pemba.
Seychelles?
No, it's Zanzibar. We'll be right back to meet our teams after these messages. Don't go away.
Since 1952, San Mateo Credit Union has been proud to help San Mateo County members and their families achieve their financial dreams. Our deep commitment to the community we serve includes offering a wide variety of financial education programs, like financial literacy workshops for youth, adults, and seniors, seminars about raising money-smart kids, identity theft prevention, and many more. For more information about San Mateo Credit Union, visit us at www.smcu.org.
Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production, talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV. And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Welcome back. The juniors of Archbishop Riordan have yet to score, but let's say hello to all of them and then give them some chance to earn some more points. Jason Serafica, you are, on your free time, a painter.
No, not a painter. At least my parents believe.
Yes, you have been self-deprecating about this ever since you said you wanted to talk about it. You sound like a tortured artist already.
Yes.
Yeah, cut off your ear and get on with it, buddy. You do abstracts, right?
Yes.
Which you describe as terrible.
Yes.
Good. You're probably going to make $1 zillion. I want 10%. Trevor Peralta, you took a cool trip to our nation's capital.
Yes, Washington, D.C. on the close-up trip.
Uh-huh. And what did you do there?
Basically, all students from across the country from different states came, and we went to our nation's capital to talk about issues facing the government right now.
Good.
It was pretty fun.
And hopefully you can fix some of those things that the government seems to not want to touch. Martin Deschamps, you are the junior class president, and you have a very interesting and exciting idea of how to leave a legacy by your class for the school.
Yeah, we're thinking about raising up some of money so we can donate it to our urban garden project at Riordan.
And mini parks and urban gardens are very popular in San Francisco right now, so that should be a very nice legacy to leave. Good luck to you there. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you a chance to earn up to 100 points. I have 3 categories and 7 questions in each category. Today's categories are famous sevens, principles, rules, and the like, and rubber. Which category would you like today?
Principles, rules, and the like.
Okay. As you can imagine, every one of these answers has to do with some kind of rule or principle or something like that. Number 1, the concept that whoever has greater strength should prevail.
Survival of the fittest.
No, might makes right. Official rules of boxing since before 1900 are called? That is Queensberry rules, the Marquis of Queensberry. A system in equilibrium subjected to stress will react to counteract the stress. What do we call that?
Say it.
Newton's third law?
No, it's Le Chatelier's principle. This is the legal system in Louisiana. It's the Napoleonic Code, or the Code Napoleon. The rule that determines the signs of a polynomial's roots. That's Descartes' rule of sign. The European powers shall not interfere in the Western Hemisphere. That comes from what important
Monroe Doctrine.
Correct. And a decree from 312 legalizing Christianity in the Roman Empire, which was attributed to Constantine. That's the Edict of Milan. You earned 10 points. We welcome back the Sacred Heart Gators, Sloan Sturzenegger. You're a senior. And you have earned, because this happens with yearbooks and stuff all the time, you've earned 2 senior superlatives, which are going to provide you with a moral crisis.
Right. So I got most likely to be your boss in the
Not
future.
my boss.
Well,
One's boss.
One's boss, and
Yes.
also most likely return to Sacred Heart as a faculty member.
Which makes no sense whatsoever.
No sense at all.
So you have a path to choose, Sloan, and I wish you the best of luck. You have to tell us at the end of the program which one you've chosen. Kevin Knox, also a senior. You took a job at Stanford this summer as an IT guy. Doing what?
I worked with my uncle for the Stanford IT department, doing mostly manual labor. But I moved around to dorms and installed some wireless systems and
Kevin,
stuff.
just tell me this, since I'm learning from this show that every employee during the summer at Stanford is a high school student, why are they charging so much in tuition?
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. Scary. David Ferranti, 9th grader, of course, Matt's little brother. And you are the freshman class vice president. And what would you do should the president not be able to fulfill their duties? Or even if they should, what do you do?
Well, I help support them and organize activities for our class.
Yeah, usually the vice president does a lot of the activity stuff, right? Good. Do you have anything big coming up?
Yeah, Spirit Week.
Spirit Week, yay! Go team, go freshmen. I hope you guys make a lot of points and do well for your team. Which category would you like? Famous sevens or rubber?
We'll do famous sevens.
Famous sevens. 7 figures somehow as part of each of these answers. Not the word necessarily, but it's part of the idea of each answer, okay? They included the Colossus of Rhodes and the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Yeah, 7 wonders of the world.
Right. Rolling a 7 is crucial in this dice game.
Craps.
Yes, which you shouldn't know anything about at Sacred Heart, but we'll talk about that later, Mom. Americans call it the French and Indian War.
The 7 Years' War.
Right. In the Brad Pitt movie, he spends 7 years where?
In prison.
Close. He was in Tibet. Roy G. Biv are the 7 colors of what?
The rainbow.
Yes. They include the Esquiline, Palatine, and Aventine.
7 Hills of Rome.
Correct. And finally, this Arabian sailor had 7 legendary voyages.
Sinbad.
Just as good as Clash of the Titans. You got 60 points. The 7 voyages of Sinbad. We'll take them when we come back.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
Will you join me in expressing our appreciation to the mighty coaches of both teams? First, from Archbishop Riordan, Mr. John Albach and Mr. Bruce Wickland. And from Sacred Heart, Mr. Kevin Morris. Time for our second round of the 3-for-all. The point values will double. 1 question will get you 10. 2 right will get you 25. 3 will get you 50 points. Good luck to both teams. I know Riordan wants to catch up. Here's your first toss-up. This nation became a Soviet satellite in the 1920s after it was invaded by the white Russian officer Baron von Ungern-Sternberg. Name this landlocked Asian nation. The third, yes, Trevor.
Mongolia.
Correct. Which of southern Mongolia is part of this cold desert that is home to Bactrian camels?
The Gobi Desert.
Right. And finally, eastern Mongolia's Onon River is the furthest source of this river, which forms the border between Russia and China.
The Yellow River?
No, it's the Amur River. Next toss-up. In a trial, the defendant's counsel is allowed to perform this type of questioning. What do we call the questions defense counsel asks the witnesses for the prosecution, and likewise the prosecutor asks the witnesses? Yes, Sloan.
Cross-analyzing.
No. You can steal?
Cross-examination.
Correct. This type of statement, based not on the witness's direct knowledge, but on what the witnesses heard others say, is usually inadmissible. It's hearsay evidence. Considering himself a rival to Britain's General Montgomery, which American Army general nicknamed Old Blood and Guts? Yes, Trevor.
Patton.
Correct. This commander of the German Africa Corps in World War II was nicknamed the Desert Fox.
Erwin Rommel.
Right. And finally, this World War I flying ace was known as the Red Baron.
Baron Manfred von Richthofen.
Correct for 50 points. This Maine citizen used the pen name Richard Bachman and set many of his works in Maine. What horror and suspense novelist wrote Carrie and Cujo?
Stephen King.
Right. This landscape artist who painted the Gulf Stream had a studio in Prouts Neck, Maine. That's Winslow Homer. The scale for this base unit of the SI system has reference points at absolute 0 and 273. Yes, Sloan.
Kelvin.
Right. K, or KT, is the abbreviation for this measure of the purity of gold alloys. Pure gold has 24.
Carat.
Correct. Kay and Joseph Kay are the protagonists of respectively The Castle and The Trial, both written by which author?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Another famous K, Franz Kafka. The title character of an 1852 novel has become a derogatory term for a servile or obsequious African American. Name that character whose title residence was in Kentucky. Martin.
Colonel Sam?
Yes, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal.
Oh, Tom Sawyer's Cabin?
No, it was Uncle Tom, of Uncle Tom's Cabin. One painting from this movement, Time Transfixed, depicts a train emerging from a fireplace. Name this art movement whose practitioners such as Salvador Dali, yes, Sloan.
Impressionism?
No, drew on their subconscious to paint strange and fantastical juxtapositions.
Surrealism?
Like Jason's work. This Belgian, who created Time Transfixed, also painted an apple floating in front of a bowler-hatted man in Son of Man. What was his name? That was René Magritte. The most commonly used examples are the MQ-1 Predator and the MQ-9 Reaper. Name these pilotless aircraft. Yes, Sloan.
Drones?
Yes. This, a two-word euphemism, is used to refer to unintended civilian casualties or property destruction caused by drone attacks.
What's a euphemism?
It's collateral damage. The left one is larger and much stronger than the right one. Name these muscular chambers of the heart that receive blood from the... Yes, David.
Ventricles?
Right. The left ventricle needs to be muscular so it can pump blood via this artery that supplies the rest of the body.
Aorta?
Right. The two-leafed valve separates the left atrium from the left ventricle. Abnormal heart sounds can be heard in its namesake, prolapse and regurgitation. What valve are we talking about?
Cardiac valve?
No, the mitral valve. The unification of Italy resulted from a social movement named by the Italian word for resurgence. Name that 19th century movement whose leaders included Garibaldi,
Risorgimento?
Say again?
Risorgimento?
Is that what he said? Okay, good. Italy was unified under the House of Savoy in 1870. Formerly, King Victor Emmanuel ruled what kingdom, briefly named for the island south of Corsica?
Piedmont, Sardinia?
That is right. The ascent of the House of Savoy was orchestrated by this count who served as its prime minister.
Emmanuel?
No, that was Cavour. And that is the end of the round. 140 to 185. We'll be right back.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
It's a close game. It all hangs on this final round. The questions are worth 30 points. I'll put 3 minutes on the clock. The clock will start when I ask the first question. Good luck to both teams. He was fired for writing obscene poetry from his job as a clerk in the Department of the Interior. What poet of I Sing the Body Electric mourned the death of Abraham Lincoln in Oh Captain, My Captain? Yes, Sloan.
Walt Whitman.
In the absence of oxygen, coke results from heating what fuel that comes in lignite, anthracite, and bituminous varieties and is a solid? Sloan.
Coal.
Correct. They won Super Bowl IV over Minnesota. Which NFL team plays at Arrowhead Stadium and features Jamal? Yes, Kevin?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Correct. She wrote poetry under the name Ellis Bell, choosing that pseudonym because it shared her real initials. Who wrote about Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights? Emily Bronte. This European city is the site of an 1801 Horatio Nelson victory, but it is nowhere near Trafalgar. Yes, Trevor. Sorry. What Scandinavian port is home to the Carlsberg District and Tivoli Gardens?
Oslo.
Copenhagen. This marble sculpture dug up on an Aegean island in 1820 is now in the Louvre. What world-famous statue shows a goddess of love and is now missing its arms? Jason.
Milo.
Right. It was about taxes, not drink. Light horse Harry Lee led the militia that quelled what 1794? Sloan.
The Whiskey Rebellion.
Right. George Orwell wrote about shooting one. What animal used as a tank? Yes.
The horse. A horse.
No. What animal used as a tank against Alexander the Great at the Battle of the Hydaspes, what also symbolizes the Republican Party?
The elephant.
Right. He represented both Massachusetts and New Hampshire in Congress. This Massachusetts native debated Robert Hayne and defended Dartmouth before the Supreme Court. Name this orator who served twice as Secretary of State. Yes, Sloan.
Daniel Webster.
Right. He greatly inspired...
I buzzed in,
I said Sloan.
and he answered.
Oh, Sloan.
Daniel Webster.
You got it. He greatly inspired our founding fathers such as Jefferson and Adams in an essay concerning human understanding. What British philosopher also wrote, yes, Sloan?
Locke.
Yes. He described the look and bad faith in being and nothingness. What thinker also dramatized his existentialist philosophy in No Exit and Critique of Dialectical? Yes, Sloan.
Sartre.
Right. This state on the eastern side of the Delaware Water Gap features the Passaic River and Cape May. What state has the cities of Patterson, Trenton, and Newark? Yes, Sloan.
New Jersey.
Yes. James Garfield proved the Pythagorean theorem using what figure that has an area equal to its height times the average length of its two...
Triangle?
Martin.
Say triangle?
No. The height times the average length of its two parallel sides.
The trapezoid.
Right. Castlereagh was Britain's representative at what meeting organized by von Metternich that reshaped European politics?
Concert of Europe.
Say again, Jason?
Concert of Europe.
Okay. He wrote about a land surveyor in the castle. No. This artist's sister. That's the end of the game. 230 to 455. Sacred Heart wins. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Promotional consideration furnished by the Burlingame Scottish Rite, the Knights Templar, Model Compilers, the Bay Area Academic League. Some questions of Quiz Kids are provided by National Academic Quiz Tournaments.